Hey everybody, I'm the Bat Otter, and if you notice a change of scenery in this video, that is because I'm on the floor. This is some nice carpet work right here. The reason that I'm on the floor is because I just got done with a 3 mile run that I walked about a mile to cool off, and well, my right leg was cramping up on the run. It sent me down about 3 times, and right now, second I stepped into the house, it became the most painful cramp that I've ever experienced. I've been on the floor for about an hour now. I'm icing it. I'm drinking, waiting on a nice little care package to get me all back to business. And you might think, why am I telling you this? It's just another one of my funny little stories that I mentioned in the beginning. But in this case, it does have a little precedent because in this video, I'm finally breaking, and I want to talk about AI artwork and exactly how I feel about the subject as a whole, because more and more I'm seeing a bunch of artists complain and whine and cry about, oh, AI art is going to put me out of business and this and all these doom and gloom things that I really, it's starting to annoy me. And if you looked at my last community post, which was about manga and the dark side of manga, these people have to work hours and hours and days. And ooh, shut up, man. Listen, I'm gonna be a little bit more aggressive in this video. Like I said, I'm really reeling right now. I'm quite literally floored. But the fact of the matter is, it really bugs me because here's I'm showing you guys shots out of my sketchbook. This I get those little brush pens and I just go to town. This is a VIP pass for an event that I just did, and to be quite honest, this is what I enjoy doing. Whenever I sit down and I spend hours, not on these in particular, but whenever I put hours into my sketchbooks and do all that practice, so that way whenever I do my pinups, whenever I do move to do my comic books, I have all this experience and I'm able to take from all these things that I draw all around town, all around the world, all around any of my influences. I just got this big old book of Bowie. It has a lot of photo references that I'm going to be drawing and going to town with. This huge book. It was a great buy. And that's just it. I'm drawing cartoons. Look at this. It's my logo with a bat otter. He's dressed up as Santa and there's a cute little guy there. What? Tell me the dark side of this. If I told you this took me an hour to draw, which I don't think it even did, would you? Oh my gosh, he had to work an hour just to make this. No, listen, man. People like that are the reason that AI art is becoming so prominent, is because artists themselves, if you look at Mitch Gerrards, if you look at maybe not Michael Jen, you look at Tom King, you look at some of the comic book artists in the industry right now, and you look at their Twitters, and it's full of, well, I traced because I need to make deadlines, and oh, deadlines are so hard, and all these whiners and complainers. I'm like, listen, man, you're tracing, you're photoshopping, you're doing all these things, you're cutting all these corners, you're doing it digitally, and you're still complaining that you're drawing cartoons for a living. It's stupid. It's redundant. Go work in the oil fields. Go work a real job. And I say real job, and I can say that because I'm an artist. This isn't a real job, guys. There are people out there working day in, day out. Medical workers, refinery workers, policemen, even fast food workers that have to take up a 12-hour shift just so that way you could eat your stupid burger. Uber drivers that are working day in, day out just to put food on their families' tables. Working 12-hour shifts driving around so that way you could eat your food and complain about doing art. I tell you, any one of those people would easily prefer to draw cartoons for a living and make six figures drawing cartoons day in and day out as opposed to flipping patties in a hot kitchen. I guarantee you that they see those people complaining and they think they're giving artists a bad name. Artist is something that you enjoy. There's no doubt that 15 hours of anything is hard work. I'm not going to deny that, right? But it's 15 hours of sitting at a table drawing cartoons versus 15 hours standing cooking patties, going to the refinery, getting covered in soot, moving heavy machinery around, being away from your family, and having to do that day in and day out. Which one's better? You guys tell me the new option. Now, this is about AI art. This isn't about my gripes with a bunch of whining, complaining artists. But it does segue into that. Listen, I just saw a post. I don't remember who posted it, but it was a person saying, support human artists, because that's the new thing. And they said, the amount of portraits they got in 2021 was about 85. The amount of portrait commissions that they got in 2022, this year, it's 2023 now, but this past year, was only 20. And they blamed it on AI art. So I took a look at their work, and it is the most passable, work that you could ever see. There was nothing special about the rendering. There was nothing special about the composition. If anything, they reused the composition and all they do is portraits. I said there's nothing about that portrait that an AI can't do. The way that the lighting is rendered, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's passable. Whenever you're making passable work, and that is your mainstay, that is how you make your living, passable isn't going to cut it whenever somebody can take a selfie, plug that selfie into an AI generator. Excuse me, my leg is acting up, I'll be right back. When you could plug it into a generator and get the exact same skill of coloring that you do. I looked at the coloring. I said, this is very, very articulate coloring. It's very basic coloring. It's very replicable. Let me turn the page so that way you guys can look at something new. Here's some more sketches that I did. Bask in their glory. A bunch of random stuff. I always think it's funny whenever the Japanese and Korean artists use English lettering in their work. So I decided to turn the tables and use some Japanese lettering. You could correct me. I just looked it up. I thought it was just a funny little piece there. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, whenever you make passable work and it takes you hours and hours and hours and it costs a lot of money to do, people are going to then use an AI that can do the exact same work for free and in seconds. Why wouldn't they do that? The problem is these artists that are complaining, their art was interchangeable from the beginning. They're saying, oh, AI art is going to devalue art. No, you began to devalue art whenever you started using digital art. There's nothing wrong with digital art. But that led to the fact that now there are no more originals. Now you're not paying for anything. You're paying for a picture. Everybody made fun of NFTs. It's the same difference. There's no picture, there's no original to a digital art piece. There are only prints, there are only replicas. There's nothing, right? Are you going to give them the Procreate file that you made it on? No. You're just going to give them a copy of the image. There is no original. So that took art value and dropped it, right? Then you started getting people who photoshopped and traced. Oh, tracing is just using reference. No, it's you taking an easy way out, admit to it, and move on. But the fact that now they're tracing photographs. Listen, I'm going to probably draw Bowie in this pose, right? What I'm not going to do is trace over it and then sell it. Why? Because that's not work. A 5-year-old could trace over it, color it, and sell it. Oh, well, it's easier to meet deadlines. Then why are they all missing their deadlines anyway? It's a long line of excuses for you to do as little work as possible because you're too lazy to admit that you can't actually hang, and then you complain about it. You can't do all three. You can't make excuses, you can't cut corners, and you can't complain. If you're working day in and day out and you're creating these compositions, or at very least just using reference, right? Looking at this photo and copying it yourself, then okay, you can say deadlines, you can say it's hard work, but you can't say it's hard work, there are too many deadlines, and I trace to meet the deadlines, that I'm not even meeting anyway. You can't do all three, guys. You really can't. And tracing devalued it even more, right? Because now you're not creating anything. Now not only is there no original piece, but now somebody can just get that photograph and do it themselves. You see what I'm saying? So you're taking the value of artwork and you're diminishing it over many, many years, and you're normalizing tracing. You're normalizing putting in mediocre, subpar work, and you're wondering why you're getting beaten by the computer. A computer can't do this. I'm not saying that because I'm such an incredible artist, but a computer would never think, okay, I'm going to only color the blood coming out of his ears because his ears are shot, the brown to indicate that this is horse hooves, not human legs, the yellow only specifically here, the sound reverberations that it's making, this gray alien with bunny ears. It would never create that. Why? Because I created it. I didn't use any reference. I use it from my mind. There are so many imperfections in this image, and it would never create this page because I created it. Now there's an original. I'm not going to sell this, but there's an original. There's value to this just by it existing. So whenever you devalue it so much, you complain so much. Listen, at the end of the day, the solution to AI art is step your game up, shut up, and make yourself valuable. It's on you. It's not on the people using the AI art. Oh, they're stealing our art. Shut up. It's not. It's on you to make yourself valuable. Why should I buy from you? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. If you can't answer that question and you are just replicable and anybody can do your style because it's so interchangeable, it's so basic, then you can't start complaining whenever something that is basic and interchangeable steals your thunder for free. You can't. You simply can't. I think that's all I have to say. I appreciate you guys listening to my rant. Speaking of original creations and digital creations, go check out my digital story. It's up on Gumroad, $5. The link will be in the description. It's called The Pigeon Queen. It's a very artsy story. It's very different from the things that I review, but I wanted to shout that out. I put a lot of work into it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video of me being on the floor. I can't tell you how much pain I'm in right now. And just to tie everything together, what I'm trying to say is I went out on that 3-mile run. I put in a lot of hard work. I'm here paying the consequences for it on the ground, and I'm still working. I'm still trying to bring you guys my best effort, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. If you don't give something your best effort, you can't complain whenever other people are taking the exact same shortcuts that you've been taking for years. I didn't take any shortcuts on that run. I was running with the cramping leg, and here I am, right? I'm not complaining. I'm if anything, I'm enjoying this feeling that I got, because it knows that I tried really hard. So that's kind of the lesson of this video. Stop complaining about AI art. Shut up, step your game up. It's not going to replace anybody that wasn't already replaceable, that I myself wasn't already calling replaceable. And you could say that's a harsh opinion, but look at the way that things are going. Make yourself valuable, be great, and you won't get replaced. I'll see you guys later.